This one will be real short. We're going to look at how to do enlarged details. This first slide is the ASME standard, and what they say is, let me go on to the next slide. What they say is, make a circle, use a thick phantom line, so in other words, your cutting plane line, which is thick and a phantom line type. Put arrows, so cut a chunk out of your circle and put an arrow at each end of that break, pointing towards each other, with a label in the middle. And then make a copy of this thing that you have surrounded, move it elsewhere on your sheet, and use scale to scale it up. And because these views are not aligned, so they're not orthographic views like the glass box, therefore we have to label this view to tell the reader what it is. And you must label what scale it is. Okay, look at that ASME standard arrow thing there, and you will realize that the only sensible way to do this, if you're making these at work, is to go ahead and make one of these by hand one time and then save it as a W block, which is a block that you save as a separate drawing, and then you won't have to draw it again. It's a little bit fussy to make this thing, cut out the circle, get the arrow just right, blah blah blah. So this is a perfect candidate for a block. But you are going to see all kinds of other examples from people who don't like to do that, including me. I'll show you one of mine. So here's one from, I forget what company this is from, but they are using the ASME standard. So here is the place where they've encircled the hole they're going to detail, and up here it is scaled at a bigger size and they've listed the scale. Here's the assignment that we're working on, the Crane and Derrick company, and they've used a variation on that idea because of the shape of the groove place here. They've used an ellipse instead of a circle, but they've still taken a bite out of the circle and labeled it. And you notice their detail is not actually enlarged. It's the same scale as the rest of the drawing, so they just decided they didn't have room in the section view to put all those dimensions, so they just pulled out a separate view of that area so they could dimension it. I leave it to you to decide whether you want to make an enlarged detail or a regular size detail, whichever one you like. And I leave it to you to decide how you want to do that, whatever you call that enlarged detail circle. You probably should do it to the ASME standard just so we've done it, but I won't complain if you do a different method. Here's one that you sometimes see where this drafter used just a thin continuous line with a label, detail C, and then here's detail C. This drafter uses phantom lines, but they're thin phantom lines, and encircles the place being detailed with one circle, then a line pulling out to an enlarged detail with another circle. And this drafter happens to be me. This is my method for doing details. So what I like about this is that it's kind of like, you know, assembling something from IKEA. It shows you exactly what this enlarged detail is talking about. Now what I did that was bad, or what I didn't do, I didn't write the scale of each of these details, so that was wrong. And this is obviously not to standard. So I just show you there are plenty of ways to do these, and wherever you go to work, no doubt your company will have yet another way of doing it, and that will be your new standard, and that's what you'll learn how to do.